Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Tommy Gun Witches by CosmicVoid. Now those of you who have been around the channel for a while will know that I'm a big fan of CosmicVoid's games, and I've been meaning to play this one since it came out. I think it came out about a month or two ago, and I haven't got around to it because I wasn't really doing these first looks where I was so busy, but the time has come and it looks really cool. It's a detective adventure game. It looks fantastic. The artwork and everything that I've seen, the screenshots are really interesting. I can't wait to see what this is all about, so here we go. I'm jolted awake by my phone going off. It's the boss, the chief inspector. The man's well sloshed, just like any other night. Something's up. Meet me at room 12 at the Zephyr Lodge Motel, he slurs between swigs. The door's unlocked. I'll be right there. I wonder if it's another case of a black cat suspected of being a witch in hiding. With the economy going down faster than a roller coaster with faulty brakes, tensions are rising, and people are seeing witches everywhere. And yet, in all my 12 years of service at the Bureau of Witchcraft and Anomaly Control, I've only encountered 3 witches. I down my coffee in one gulp, retrieve my sentinel uniform from under the bed, and head out. Very atmospheric already. Ah, the Zephyr Lodge Motel, as grimy and decrepit as I remember. A den of swindlers, hacksters and hustlers. My boss, well into his 6th or 7th beer, is engrossed in a black and white western. Okay, this is Chief Inspector done. Lucas, you're finally here. This time, it's the real deal. I believe we've got a live one. Okay, and this is Lucas. Not another black cat then. I don't believe so. Dustin Heights, 9. Neighbour reported a scream. The police found the guy dead in his room. Someone had taken out his intestines. Oh, lovely. That's exactly what we want to find, isn't it? To top it off, the body was reeking of sulfuric acid. Guess it's clear we ain't chasing no black cat this time around. Where's the body now? At the morgue, but check the guy's room first. With your visor, you might discover hidden evidence the witch left behind, the kind the police won't find. Anything peculiar about this guy, making him a target? Not that we can tell. The poor sod, Anthony Maxwell, pushed papers for a plastics company. A filing clerk? He achieved an unexpected milestone, becoming the first ever filing clerk on a witch's hit list. Who would have thought the plastic supply business packed such thrilling perils? You still here, Lucas? On my way out, Chief Inspector. A brief tutorial. Left click on objects to interact with them. A brightly lit detective icon indicates additional interactions. Access the map by left clicking on the map icon at the bottom right of the screen. Hover over the bag icon at the top left to access your inventory. Press the escape key for options and click on the cog icon at the top left. Alright, so there we go. Cog icon, there's the bag. Unveils hidden witches and their items. And there's the map. Ooh, cool. So the Zephyr Lodge, Dustin Heights 9. Let's go to Dustin Heights 9. So can we leave the map? Doesn't look like we can leave the map. Yeah, Dustin Heights 9 was clean. Too clean for a murder scene. Not a single spattering of blood tainted the floor, bed or curtains. And the smell of sulfuric acid failed to linger in the air. It was evident that the killer, be it a witch or otherwise, sought to make a statement through a careful execution of violence. This was not an act of passion, but one carried out by a cold, calculated mind. Regardless, this was the appearance they intended to leave. Should the culprit be a witch, my visor ought to uncover some proof. Really descriptive text so far, I love it, and obviously the visuals, as with all of CosmicVoid's games, are really cool. So we've got a curtain here. Thick green curtains let none of the street light penetrate. I'm speculating here, but I'd say it's not a case of someone prizing their privacy too much. The 2 pry words there really confused my mind there for a second. Anthony feared being watched, but why? Why would anyone be so interested in a file clerk to take to spying on him? Good question. So the little icon of the guy's face is just to look at things, I think, and then we'll take a look with the visor. The bed. The bed hasn't been slept in. There isn't a single drop of blood on the sheet or any sign of a struggle. Whoever did, old Anthony didn't care to surprise him in his sleep. Okay, so maybe someone he knew. Given the chair a good once over, I don't find any unusual marks or stains of blood. Right, so there's no evidence of blood anywhere. Murder victims often have strange things stashed among their undergarments. Anthony is no exception. The photo found tucked away at the back of the drawer depicts a witch named Mayan Chirp, as stated in the text on its reverse side. Glancing over her shoulder, she appears to be a young woman in her 20s, displaying the characteristic vibrant green skin of a typical witch. Just Just what was her connection to Anthony? Good question. Right, I think it's probably all we can look at without the... Ooh, a witch looking over her shoulder. Right. Ooh, I knew my visor would piece together the whole scene at Dustin Heights 9. But nothing prepared me for this. There's no doubt Anthony Maxwell was done in by a witch. Strangely enough, she ditched her Tommy gun and mask. That's practically unheard of. Alright, so yeah, this game is free, by the way, over on itch.io. I'll leave a link in the bio below if you want to play it. I think it's about half an hour to an hour based on how thorough you are, so reasonably short. So far, very good. Witch's Tommy gun. A witch's Tommy gun. Now, that's a strange sight. While witches leave various items as calling cards at murder scenes, I've never known any to abandon their weapon of choice like this. It could mean this witch is renouncing her violent ways and disavowing her coven. But such an event hasn't occurred since Gob Larding's defection in the 19th century. This witch must have a really good reason for leaving behind her prized possession. The world building is fantastic, by the way. Really, really good. Witch's mask. A witch's mask, huh? Witches do have a flair for theatrics when it comes to their crime scenes, but discarding their precious mask, that's a rare move for them. Typically, they leave behind a firecracker or a grenade, a warning that they'll strike again with their trademark violence. The only time a witch parts with her mask is if she's calling it quits. But this case seems different. This murder holds a special significance for the perpetrator. It wasn't just another job, it was the grand finale she'd been preparing for. At this point, it's reasonable to assume a witch has been involved with Anthony's murder. The photo hidden in the drawer suggests he may have known a witch personally, who may or may not have been the murderer. I believe I've learned enough to share my findings with the inspector. I better head back. Alright, fine, well, we'll head back to the inspector. Just take a drink. Right, let's have a look around here before we speak to him, shall we? TV. Chief Inspector's watching a black and white western. During tough times, he switches to the Home Shopping Network, so whatever's going on, he doesn't seem too alarmed just yet. It's a cassette. Mind if I take this western cassette? That's gonna help with your witch investigation? I doubt it. Well, then keep your paws off my movie, Sentinel. Oh, come on, man. Let's have a look. Soft-boiled egg, of all things. Does the egg repel witchcraft? What are you blabbering about? That's my dinner. Your 1 AM dinner, Chief? That's what I'm going to follow up this beer with. Lovely. Gonna have a nice case of heartburn with that combination, I think. Right, Chief Inspector. I've dug up proof pointing to a witch's hand in Anthony Maxwell's murder. Witches can't leave well enough alone. Banishing them to another dimension didn't stop them. They're like stubborn weeds pushing through the cracks. I can't even think how to pronounce that word. What is going on today is what they are. So what is it you found? A witch's mask and a witch's Tommy gun. Also found a snap of a young witch tucked away. Witches don't usually abandon their Tommy guns or masks. It's like breaking a sacred rule for them. And that photo of the witch, she's a young woman. That means she was born post-banishment in that otherworldly hellhole. Makes it quite the mystery then. How'd Anthony get mixed up with her? If there's anyone who knows anything about the so-called new witches, it's those dealers who traffic witches' narcotics into our dimension. They know what's what. Madeline's one such dealer, disguising herself as a juice vendor on Tutbury Avenue. Paying her a visit might just pay off. Alright, well, looks like we're going to have to go over to there then. I like this map thing and like how obvious it is where you can go. I think that's cool. Tutbury Avenue, where folks aren't what they seem and everybody's got some secret game going on. Every politician taken out in the past 10 years has managed to anger a mobster rooted in this place. So it's no surprise that when witches sought ways to sneak from the dimension they've been banished to, back into this world, their accomplices were traced down to this location. Now it's time to have a little chat with Madeline. Alright, well let's have a look first. We've got pomegranates and grapefruit. How much is a pomegranate? The pomegranates themselves are not for sale, you buy the juice. How about I pay double for what it's worth? Triple the price might do it. It's a deal. So did we get one? Oh, we did. We got, okay, a pomegranate. Anything else on here? There's some juice. I'm not much of a juice fan. I stick to coffee. Fair enough. It's a coffee ad. Coffee ads are the second most common posters in this part of the city. The most common ones are missing person notices. I prefer the former. Yeah, I can imagine. Who have we got here? Thunder. And then we've got Madeline. Let's speak to Thunder first. This guy has been giving me the eye since I arrived. Maybe I should talk to him. Good evening. Enjoying your beer? What's it to you? Just making conversation. He's pretty evasive. Alright, well, I don't think he's going to say much, is he? Madeline. Locating Madeline proved to be a straightforward task. Her juice stand has been a fixture in this spot for over a decade, vending pomegranate and grape juice. And occasionally, discreetly offering other substances to select customers. Oh yeah. Judging from her face mask, I can tell she's still concerned about the contagious Luciferian outbreak that swept through the city last year. Now, I only need to figure out what would make her talk. Good evening, or shall I say good night? Anything exotic on offer? Today's exotic feature is yesterday's highlight, pomegranate and grapefruit juice. Well, that's auspicious. 2 delights in one. Pomegranate it is. There you go, luck's on your side. It's tomorrow's specialty too. Funny how luck has favoured me lately. That time I nabbed the crocodile killer, turns out he was also the infamous jaw splitter. Looks like I've captured your interest. Excellent. The moment I laid eyes on you, I knew exactly who you were. Oh, was it the gleam in my eye that gave it away? It was the gait, confident and brisk, like you have no fear of being mugged around here. Now that the masks are down, I'd appreciate it if you could glance at this photo of one Mayan Chirp. That's a witch. What makes you think I know her? That's a young witch. Most likely not born here, but brought from the nightmarish dimension we would banish the witches to. And I've heard that information spreads quickly to you if a witch comes through. And if I told you that I've seen her, then I'd be very interested to learn more about her, especially in connection to the murder of a file clerk that occurred earlier tonight. Murder? I can assure you she's not involved in anyone's murder. Oh, and how can you be so certain? Because she's deceased. Okay, so unless you believe dead witches return as ghosts, she's not your culprit. Dead? Indeed, deceased, and that's all I know. Well, that's unexpected to say the least. Let's see if we can use this here. The visor hasn't picked up anything beyond what I can already see. Alright, let's see if we can speak to this guy again. So he's just doing the same thing. Okay. Do you know the cause of her death? I do not. All I know is that it was gruesome. Gruesome? Someone wanted to make a statement, perhaps? As I said, I can't tell you anything more. Sounds like a crime of passion. Indeed, it does seem that way. I must admit, it's quite perplexing. Is it now? It's not every day you come across a murdered witch. Usually it's the witches who are the perpetrators. You've read it all in those books, haven't you? Perhaps it's time you opened your eyes. It was us who banished the witches, not the other way round. Have you ever wondered how many of them perished during the banishment? Far more than you can imagine. Joining a dangerous cult, one can't expect it to be all daffodils and sunshine, can one? It's a fair point. She got anything else to say? I don't believe there's any more information I can glean from her at this moment. Fine. And this guy, he literally just won't talk to us. Fine. Do you want a drink? Might need a different approach. We can maybe show him the photo. What was I thinking? I guess not. And there's definitely nothing after that conversation. Well, should we report back to the Chief Inspector then? Ready for this? Madeline believes Mayan Chirp's dead. Oh, is she now? She got any hard evidence to back that up? None that she's presented. Well, this might just hand us a motive. Another witch could have knocked off Anthony Maxwell out of vengeance. True. Speaking of the devil, the morgue's got the body prepped. I'd like you to head over and examine it for secrets. See what else you can find. I'm all over it. Alright. Morgue it is. This is really good, and it's quite fast-paced as well, isn't it? It's moving quite quickly, which I like. Ah, the morgue. Some weeks it's my second home, beating even the bar. And those are the weeks I'd rather forget. Last Tuesday, someone's tongue put on a fireworks show. They say it's the handiwork of a local devil making a comeback. At the morgue, surprises come packaged in all shapes and sizes. Let's have a look around. Freezer C. There are 3 bodies in here. First one belongs to Benjamin Fies. Ramon. According to his file, he never washed his hair. Eventually, corrosive acid formed on it and eroded his head away. The second one belongs to Sean Dolan, who was crushed by a falling bookshelf. Ouch. The third body belongs to an unidentified individual. Cause of death, unknown. Interesting, crematorium. Some necromancers persist in taunting and hurling insults even after death. This is when the crematorium proves to be quite advantageous. Nice. Alright, freezer A. I doubt they have roast beef stashed away in here. Nope, a couple of bodies. The first one belongs to Iago Ellsworth. Let's see how he ended up here. It reads, Bargain Bud's Polar Bear Challenge Regional Runner-Up. Just 5 minutes short of a lifetime supply of bacon-flavoured diet cream soda. The second body belongs to Philip de Geistefahrer? Berserker? Yeah, my pronunciation is bad, sorry. Apparently he was involved in a bizarre root beer accident. Alright, and what about freezer B? Seems like some of these freezers are big enough to hold 3 bodies. The first one belongs to Yap, who apparently died from eating too much candy. I can relate. The second belongs to Jay Holmes. It says he choked on his own laughter. When my time comes, that's how I'd like to go. The third body belongs to Chad Armstrong. It says he was crushed by a 16-ton weight, and that's why I never go to the gym. Okay, fine. Medicine cabinet. The majority of the items here are intended for post-mortem care. One item stands out. The pathologist might utilise chlorhexidine gluconate solution for personal disinfection. The label indicates Ultra. This could be the most potent disinfectant on the market. Might be of use. And of course, I'll just help myself to this scalpel here. You never know when it might prove useful. Sorry. Well guys, I tell you what, I'm going to leave it here, and if you want to see what happens next, then you're going to need to play it for yourself. I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can do just that. Excuse me. So as always, thank you very much for watching. A big thank you to my patrons, Arcades Games, Wayne, Nate, Terminally Nerdy, Paul from the Phantom Fellows, Lyle, Burial Judge Hobo, Numinous Kumidin, and Paul Leone, and I'll see you next time.